don't know about you, but just lately, I'm finding the world a little bit overwhelming. The heat has been a nightmare in the garden. The animals, the wildlife, has been a nightmare in the garden. Most of my crops have failed. And life at the moment is just getting a little bit overwhelming. Nothing specific, but sometimes I just think the world is just a bit too much. And that's how I'm feeling at the moment. I'm feeling like I just want to retreat, batten down the hatches, and come into the house and just ignore the world and ignore everything. And I know that's never the answer. I know that's never the solution. But I do just feel sometimes like it's all just a bit too much. Nothing specific, as I say, nothing that I could say it's this that's overwhelming or it's that that's overwhelming. But I think with all this stuff doing the frugal living, sometimes it's just a bit overwhelming because you want to put food on the table, you want to put good food on the table, you want to look after your family, you want to save money, you need to save money because these days everything is just so expensive. Sometimes it's just, it gets to you. You feel like you're getting one step ahead, and then all of a sudden the government will change something and you're back to square one again. Or a situation will happen and you're back to square one again. I don't know whether you're feeling the same. I don't want to put a downer on the video for today, but I just feel like I just need to get a few things off my chest. I was going to get my oil the other day, and the oil price had come down. It was £1.56 at the beginning of the summer. It went right up. It skyrocketed in February when all this stuff with the Strait of Hormuz started. £1.56 for heating oil. I mean, that was going to make my heating oil over £1,000 just to have half a tank of fuel. And I said, no, I'm not paying it. So I've been waiting and I've been waiting for the price to come down, and I've been saving, thinking the price will come down soon, the price will come down soon. I've saved it, I'm getting the money saved. Haven't got enough yet to pay what I would normally pay, which was about £350 maybe. And it came down. And it was coming down, and I was thinking, oh great, it's going to come down to what I need to be able to pay. I've got a couple of weeks until I've got enough money to be able to pay for it. And yesterday I checked, it's gone up 10p. I haven't got enough money to buy my oil at the moment. I need to wait until I've saved it. I mean, what will it be then? So my husband and I have decided to wait. Getting back to oil prices and food prices. The whole reason I started this channel, started changing my channel, was really because of the things that have been going on in the world, and the things that people are struggling with. Everyday people are struggling just to put food on the table, just to have a decent quality of life. You want to take your kids out to enjoy things. You want to be able to buy clothes. Just buy underwear, just buy a pair of knickers, a pair of socks. But even that's gone expensive. I went to the shop a couple of weeks ago to buy some underwear. Hardly any cotton, and I have to wear cotton because of my age. And it was £7, £8 for 5 cheap and nasty pairs of knickers. And I'm thinking, the last time I bought them, they were about £2.99 for 5. I couldn't believe the price. I had to buy them. I had to, because it's like 10 years since I bought myself any decent underwear. And I'm thinking, it's just wrong. It really is so wrong. We shouldn't be in this position where everything is just out of our reach, even just buying underwear. It's silly. It's nonsense. It is absolute nonsense. And I found, since I've been doing my savings thing, since I've been doing my envelopes, I have found that just making more of a note of how much things cost. It's not that I can't, it's not that I can't afford, I can. If I put the money away and save for a couple of weeks, I can choose to buy myself some fresh underwear. But it's just the thought of, why should I pay £5 more for something that's no better quality? It's not like I've gone to Marks and Spencer's. I mean, if I went to Matalan, it's not like I went to the most expensive shop. But even there, it's like £20 in Marks and Spencer's for some cheap knickers. And I just think, things more and more are just getting back to the way they were during World War II, where we're going to have to, ration ourselves. It's not even like they're imposing rationing on us, but it's rationing without a ration book. Because during the war, during World War II, you were only allowed a certain amount of coupons, and that literally bought you one outfit. That would buy you a pair of stockings, a skirt, a jacket, and maybe a new coat and a pair of shoes, and that was your lot. That was all you were able to buy. No, I'm finding the same thing myself. That I go to the shop and I'm thinking, I can't even buy a pair of shoes. They've just gone up so much, and I just think, why should I pay more for something that the quality hasn't changed? If anything, the quality is worse because it's coming from China, and all the cheap labour and the slave labour that's coming through from China. And I just think, it's unreal. It is unbelievable. I mean, I was talking to someone the other day, and they think that £15,000 is a decent part-time wage for three days a week, 4 days a week. You can't live on that. You can't live on £15,000. I mean, I can't live on £15,000 a year, and I don't buy anything, and I don't pay like for my bills anywhere near what the average household pays, because I don't even put the lights on. So one thing I do find myself doing now more and more is leftovers. And the great thing about the wartime cooking, sorry about the rustling, the great thing about the wartime cooking is that you always seem to have a good amount of leftovers. I mean, I made this the other day, and this did two of us. We had a quarter each. Now, you could probably, if you didn't have as much, if you don't eat as much or have as big a meal as what we have, because I only eat twice a day, I don't eat 3 times a day. And my husband doesn't take much to work with him, so I try to do as a decent evening meal. So this would probably do 6 people, maybe even 8 people on a small portion for lunch. And the recipe is coming up on my channel. And it's just a leftovers pie, and all it basically was leftover vegetables from a roast dinner with a pastry topping on the top. So it just goes to show you can use very, very little to make a meal. I mean, this had been there probably for about 6 months. So another thing I find myself retreating to when things are a bit overwhelming is doing things in the house. I find that to me is really, I just forget about everything. I don't forget about everything that I don't think about it anymore. But in that moment when I'm doing something, I just put it behind me and just focus on what I'm doing. And I find that really therapeutic, but also really helpful in my mental health, to do things. And this is one thing I did the other day. I renovated Gordon's cabinet. This used to be Gordon's, the elderly gentleman that lived here. This used to be his kitchen. This was it. This was his kitchen. He had one other unit, which was a sink unit, and he used to keep his plates and his pans and everything in. But this was it, and one wall cupboard from the 1930s, which they took out, unfortunately. I would have liked to have kept it, but yeah, so I did this up, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's got lovely doors on it. I took the freezer cupboard out, the fridge freezer cupboard out, because we're not using the fridge freezer anymore. I can put it back. I've kept all the bits. We can put it back if we leave. But I've been putting all my crockery in it, all my different pots like this, which I bought for eBay to sell on eBay. But I thought, I like some of these things. I'm going to keep them in here. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? It's called Down the Country Lane. It's got a little country cottage on it. Can you see that? And it's on a little vintage country road, and a jug to match. So this is the sugar bowl, and this is the milk jug. So I'm thinking, I'm going to look at them, and then if I do decide I want to sell them, they're all nice and safe, all tucked away in the cupboard. Have you seen this? Isn't this beautiful? Nice bit of amber glass from the 1970s. Found this in the charity shop, and I think it was about £3. Still got the little tag on it, but yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, mint condition. So yeah, I'm going to use these things in the kitchen. Like my little teapot. I love this little teapot. I think he's really sweet. I mean, look at him watering his plants. The little teddy watering his plants. I mean, how sweet is that? We all need nice little things to look at, don't we? We all need things that make us happy, things that make our home. And I just found myself retreating to those things when life gets too much. And I thought, I'm just going to start putting the things that I like in this cupboard, and then I can get easy access to. I mean, look at this. Isn't this lovely? Proper 1970s. This is the kind of patterning I grew up with. I remember my auntie having a wash basket with this pattern on. And I think that's why I bought it, because it just reminds me of being in her house when I was a child. It's always a big old house. It was a big Victorian house over I think it was on 3 or 4 floors. It was huge, absolutely huge. Not sure if she had a basement. And her husband used to grow the most amazing roses. And I think that's where I first started getting interested in thinking, well, I have a garden of my own, I'll grow roses. And my dad used to grow roses when I was a child as well. And these things, they just bring us back, don't they, to happy moments, happy times. But that house was always quite foreboding to me as a child, as a little tot, because it was a big old house, big massive kitchen, big high ceilings, big floors, big rooms, and it was just a humongous house. And this massive front garden, this little tiny back garden, yard area, but then this massive front garden with, well, it seemed massive to me as a child, with these most amazing rose beds in. Like you go into a park and see all these roses laid out in different beds, and you just walk around the garden on the grass and see all the different roses. And I think that's why I got the idea for my garden, really, going back to my Auntie Barbara and my Uncle Eddie, and just seeing those roses. So these kind of things, they take you back, don't they? And take you back to happy places when the world is so tumultuous, I think the word is. Things are so chaotic. Just we want to go back, don't we, to happier times, to happier days. And these things, I know my husband thinks, what do you want to keep all these things for, all this stuff for? Well, it takes me back into happy times. It's good for my mental health. He can do what he wants with it if I'm not here anymore. He can chuck it in a charity shop, chuck it in the bin, do what he wants. But while I'm here, I'm going to enjoy them. And I'm going to let it take me back to happy places where the world wasn't so chaotic. The world wasn't so horrible. And people weren't so horrible. And yeah, this takes me back to happy places. Happy memories. And we all need a few of them. We all need a few of them. Right, time for a cup of tea. So after all that said, I've decided to come and sit at the table, and I'm going to record a video of looking for recipes for a meal plan. I think that would be a good recipe to do for you, because that's something that I'm going to be doing today. is looking for some new recipes when my mind can't cope with a lot of things, like I've been feeling at the moment. I just find I always retreat to the meals that I know how to cook, um, the stable meals that I know that we'll both eat, that don't take a lot of thought. Um, and it's good food, it's nice food. But I want to try and find some more recipes so I can do some more recipes on my channel, because I think that's why I've not done too many recipes on my channel, is because I've just not been making any different things. I've just been retreating and making the same meals all the time. And I'm pretty much a creature of habit. If I find a recipe I like and I know it works and I know we both eat it, then I tend to make that. And I've got a recipe repertoire for the week, and it'll be a cheese dish on a Monday, and then on a Tuesday it'll be a pie. On a Wednesday it might be chips with something, and then on a Thursday it'll either be a curry or a pasta bake. So, and then Friday it's pizza night. That's our night out. So I kind of always resort to those sorts of meals, but I'd like to find something different. Because what I want to do is I want to get my freezer empty, and then I can have meals in the freezer for when I don't want to have to think about it, and I don't want to have to think about what I'm cooking. Put it in the wood stove in the winter, heat the meal up, and it'll be done within half an hour to save me having to cook every night. Because I just don't have the time, to be honest with you, to be cooking every night because things are so busy. Anyway, I thought to finish the video today on a high note. After all that said, I feel better, so thanks for listening. Thanks for being my therapy. I thought that we would have a look at some of the leaflets that I've been collecting. I've been having a look on eBay, and I posted a link a while ago on a community post. You can find it. I'll pop it in the description bar below. But it was of some free 1940s literature on how to cook and recipes. And this book, The ABC of Cookery, was on that free books list. And I managed to find a copy on eBay. Now, the price, that I found one of these the other day, and it was well over £100. Now, mine's falling to bits. The cover's falling off. But mine's probably not going to be worth that. But it's an ABC of cookery, and it teaches you how to cook. It's a guide for people who, during the war, if they hadn't didn't know how to cook, this was a how-to cookbook. This is better than Delia Smith, better than Mary Berry. But it tells you how to bake vegetables, ways of cooking and serving vegetables. There you go. Tell you what, instead of you looking at me, we'll have a look at the books together, shall we? So we've got ways of cooking vegetables and serving vegetables, vegetable salads, how to clean the giblets and the heart and the liver and the gizzard and the feet of a chicken. My mum used to do that. Keep the giblets and give it to the cats. This is how to do cuts of meat using cooked and canned fish, milk and cheese. There's stuff in here about baking as well, how to avoid bread, how to succeed with bread, baking timetables for pastries, cakes and puddings, making toast. I mean, who'd have thought that you'd need to be told how to make toast? Stiff doughs, how to make short crust pastries. So if you can get hold of this book, I do highly recommend it. How to make coffee. So much in here. So much in here. How to boil potatoes. So yeah, if you can get hold of it, do. I found my copy on eBay and it was about £7. But I didn't mind paying that because it's a really good book and it's really useful. And I think it's from 1945, Ministry of Food. There you go, it says on the label there. So that's the first one. Then I did find this one, the McDougall's Book of Cookery. I know that there was different books that they did, and it's McDougall's Self-Raising Flour Company. And this one's a cookery book. And it's got puddings in it. It's got cakes in it. And look, I love this kind of thing when you buy an old book and you've got someone's handwritten recipe. And that one was for a cake using mincemeat, you know, the stuff you put in mince pies. I might have a go at that actually for over the weekend and see how we get on. Bake on gas mark 4. But 1 1/4 to 1 3/4 hours. Maybe not. That's going to take up too much electric. Chocolate sandwich cakes, small cakes, icing, and then you've got bread. You've got general hints for baking, how to line a cake tin. And it came with this beautiful little string on it, so you could hang it up. You could hang it up in the kitchen using this little string. So I like that because this one doesn't have it. And this one's just a puddings book. And these are from the 1930s as well. I love the fact it's got price sixpence written on it. Again, McDougall's company. But this one's from the 1950s, I think. I'm not too sure. 40s or 50s. Doesn't have a date on it. But yeah, this one is just puddings. So you've got sweet pastry dishes, meat and savoury dishes, sauces and fillings, meat and savoury. So why is this called the pudding book if it's meat? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, batters, miscellaneous, sauces and fillings, as I've said, sweet suet pudding, meat savoury dishes, sweet pastry dishes, short crust pastry, how to make suet pastry, gooseberry flan, jam tart, rough puff pastry, flat apple cakes, fruit custard flan, egg and bacon pie. So yeah, there's loads of things in this. Now I paid about £5 for this one. I paid about £7 for this one. But you know, it's the information that's in it that really you want, and the recipes. They're really good. This one, what to give them. Now I've got 2 copies of this because I bought this one originally. Now this was a reprint of this one that is actually from the war. I think this one's 1945 as well. And it's a lovely little book, but you can tell the difference when you're looking for wartime books and you're looking for originals. I didn't know this, but this one is a reprint. The reason you can tell is because it's got the wartime service as the back page. This book is offered to you as McDougall's contribution to Ministry of Food economy effort. Many months of experiment and research have been spent by McDougall's research department under the supervision of their cookery expert, Mrs. Janet Johnston, in evolving and trying out a large number of wartime recipes with a view of helping the housewife in her difficult task of utilising her rations to the best of her advantage. These have been incorporated in this little booklet. Every recipe has been tried out in McDougall's experimental kitchen and they are all good. Particular attention has been given to the food values of the various ingredients available so that well-balanced meals can be provided. So the reason you can tell the difference is because it's got this additional page. And this is the other books that are available. Now that's why I bought the pudding book, because it was recommended in the back of this one, and the cookery book as well was recommended in this one. So yeah, I bought these 2. I did buy a leaflet of this one, but what I didn't realise was that this is just a leaflet that was obviously given in newspapers after the war, as excerpts out of the book. But I wanted the actual book because the book has, which is this one, 36 pages, 33 recipes. Well, as you can tell, this isn't the right book. I was a bit annoyed because I paid £7, £6 or £7 for this one. It does have a few recipes in it, but I would rather have had the book, which it didn't list that. It didn't say it was a leaflet when I bought it. But other than that, this is identical. So if you're wanting to buy original recipe books, then do look at the pictures and just make sure that if it's got additional things that you can buy, you wouldn't have got that during the war. This was a reprint that you could send off, cut the page out, send it off, and get your additional books and say which ones you wanted. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you a selection of my wartime leaflets and let you see what I've been buying. I'm going to go. Enough waffle. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for listening to my thoughts about what's going on at the moment. And we'll get back to our usual content in the next video. So I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your week. Do like and subscribe. Do hit that bell and that'll tell you when I'm uploading new videos. And do check out my memberships because there's a lot more on there than what is on my channel. A lot more advice, a lot more wisdom, a lot more recipes, table chats, there's recipe card as well once a month. So do check that out in the join button and see if there's anything you'd like to subscribe to. So I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your week and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye for now. Bye bye.